You're listening to Life with Herpes, and this is episode 20. Hello, and welcome to today's episode with Life with Herpes. I'm your host, Alexandra Harbushka, and as always, I'm excited to be here with you. I hope you're having an awesome day. These are my favorites. I love the hashtag Ask Alexandra episodes because I get to hear from you. I get to connect. I get to see where you're from, hear your question. I love hearing what's going on out there. So like I said, this is always one of my favorites. So thanks for today's question. Before I get there, I want to, first of all, thank you for being here. Second of all, today this is brought to you by the Life with Herpes Crisis Toolkit. I'm really excited about this. I created it. I wish I had this in my first week of finding out I had herpes. I was alone. I was lost. I was scared. I was just an absolute shock. So I created this Life with Herpes Crisis Toolkit. It is awesome. It just released. If you are just finding out you have herpes, I just want to give you a hug. But go on over to lifewithherpes.com. It's on the very top. It says learn more. Basically, it's a 48-hour action plan. There is a crisis calmer. There is a shopping list, things you need, what you want to know about outbreaks, right? And then difficult conversations. How do I tell? What do I do? So a lot of hand-holding for over a week. So I will be there. I will be keeping in touch with you and making sure that everything's okay. So head on over to lifewithherpes.com, sign up, get it, join it. It will absolutely make your first week I just want to give you a hug, okay? All right. So moving on, I want to talk about the Ask Alexandra section. Like I said, this is my favorite. If you want to ask your question, ask the question. I can't wait to hear. Go on over to lifewithherpes.com. On the bottom of the landing page, the home page, you will see a section to ask. So ask. I love this part. All right, so today's episode is It is, gosh, I'm like on a roll right now. No, today's episode, the question comes from my friend Drew over in Newark, New Jersey. What's up, Drew? How are you? Newark, New Jersey. So I spent some time in New Jersey. I lived in New York. I would go over to Wayne, New Jersey to go to Costco. I would drive over. I'm trying to think what else I would do. I had a friend that lived in New Jersey. We would go out to lakes. So I've spent some time there. I've flown out of Newark to go to, back home to San Diego. So I feel I know like what's up. I feel I know where you are. How is it over there right now? I hope you're having a great summer. Thanks for sending this question. So your question is, do the antiviral drugs help in reducing symptoms? And this is awesome because the quick answer is yes. Yes, they help in reducing symptoms, and they work very, very fast. There are a couple of drugs out there, so I'll get into all of that. But if you're somebody that has frequent outbreaks or they're really, really severe outbreaks, meaning, I know, Drew, when I had my first outbreak, it was so painful. I couldn't wear pants. Now, for you not to wear pants, you're not probably going to wear a dress. So I just wore dresses, and loose clothes because it can be so painful. So if you're in that type of outbreak symptom, that is painful. Get on the antiviral drug as soon as possible. But yeah, if they're frequent and if they're severe, frequent means an average for a person with genital herpes is anywhere between like 4 to 6 outbreaks a year. So it's about every other month, every 3 months. If you're having them monthly or you're having them every couple weeks, yes, get on the antiviral drug ASAP. What this antiviral does is it suppresses the virus. So it relieves the herpes symptoms. So, and also when this happens, it reduces the chances of spreading the disease. So I'll get into that a little bit more. But as far as does this antiviral drug help in reducing the symptoms? Yes, it absolutely does. I personally do not take an antiviral daily. I did for a number of years, maybe like 4 years. I took the drug daily just because I was scared. I didn't want to deal with it. I was in denial. I just thought if I just take the pill, it won't show up. And it didn't. I didn't have outbreaks and things like that. Now, as I have had herpes since 2011, genital herpes since 2011, I don't personally want to take a pill every single day. So that is something that I make the choice to do. Does it mean that I'm more susceptible to getting outbreaks? Yes. Do I have to be a little bit more careful in things that I do? Yes. Certain things like diet, sleep, and activities. Yeah, I don't burn the candle from both ends. You know what I mean? Because I know if I do, I'll get an outbreak. So that is your own personal decision, Drew, and to other people that are listening, if you want to take it daily. If not, there are a couple of different drugs, and I'm just going to go over them really quick. I'm going to go over the difference between a trademarked brand and a generic brand. So, for example, we have all heard of Valtrex, right? Who hasn't heard of Valtrex? And Valtrex is the trademark, meaning it is branded. It has the patent. It has the copyright. So Valtrex has the recipe, and they branded it. So that's kind of the original, right? Now, a generic of Valtrex is valacyclovir. I always get tongue-tied on that one. So valacyclovir. There we go. Valacyclovir. And that's generic, which means that the trademarked or the branded no longer has the copyright. And so the recipe can be released and they make a generic brand of it. The difference is, there is going to be a little bit slight difference in the pill. It's just like, if you have your grandmother's, spaghetti sauce recipe, when your grandmother makes it, she'll teach you how to make it. But when you make it, you're going to make it differently, even though it may have the same ingredients, right? So yes, is there a difference? There is. But I personally use valacyclovir. One, it's cheaper. My insurance pays for it and it is cheaper, where Valtrex is more expensive. Whatever you use is up to you. There's other drugs as well. The trademark is Famvir. The generic is famciclovir. Basically anything with cyclovir has to do with the herpes virus. But what I would highly recommend is you talk to your doctor and see which drug works best for you and for your lifestyle. Some require you to take them once a day. Some require you to take them twice a day. The potency may be a little bit different. If twice a day works for you, great. If once a day works for you, better, which I'm assuming it does, great. There will be a difference in cost. There will be a difference. Maybe your insurance handles it differently. So that's just something to keep in mind, Drew. But I also want to talk to you about, I said I'm going to come back to it. So when you are on the antiviral, it does reduce the chance of spreading the disease. And here's why. It does not 100% reduce the ability to transmit or pass the virus to a non-infected sexual partner. Wow, I sound really serious with all these big words. But basically, if your partner does not have herpes, because when you do take the antiviral drug, it does suppress the virus, which means there is a less chance for viral shedding. I do talk about viral shedding in other podcasts. Basically what it is the virus goes, hey, I want to shed, just like your skin wants to shed or your hair wants to fall out. It's alive. It wants to shed. It wants to kind of get going. And the symptoms, do not appear, yet the virus pops up. So you will not have an outbreak. You won't even know that you're shedding. And then that's when the transmission happens. So 70% of the times that the virus is transmitted is during a non-outbreak, meaning the virus was being shed and the person with herpes didn't even know that it was there. So when you take the antiviral, it does reduce the viral shedding. However, it still happens. Just keep all of that in mind when having sex. And this means, and I like to always boil this down, this means that you have to tell your partner. So when you are in a new relationship or you're sexually active with somebody, regardless, you need to tell them that you have herpes. You need to tell them that you're doing everything you can do to prevent passing it. You are taking the antiviral and using a condom. That will be your best method of preventing the spread. Even though that was not your question, Drew, I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that. So does the antiviral drug help in reducing symptoms? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. The symptoms will reduce within, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, I believe it's 2 to 4 days. If you have really, really severe, again, like I mentioned in the beginning, like I couldn't sit down and I had to wear maxi dresses. I don't even think I wore underwear because I was in so much pain. It took about 4 days before I could really feel a difference in the symptoms. If you get it right in the beginning, if you've had herpes for a while and you know when it's coming on, if you get it within the first couple of hours of that feeling, chances are you'll either not get the outbreak or your symptoms will just be far, far, far less. All right, Drew. Well, thanks so much for asking that question. Like I said, I love this part. I get to talk to you. Drew's from Newark, New Jersey. I mean, cool, right? It's kind of fun to know where people are from and where you're listening. So be cool, be like Drew. Head on over to lifewithherpes.com, submit your question, hang out, write me an email. I love this part. Also, when you head over to lifewithherpes.com, I have a ton of free stuff. I have ebooks for you. I have a Facebook group for you to join. I have a lot of cool things for our Life with Herpes community. So I would love for you to head on over, join it. It is free. It is a free membership. You get cool shit and we get to connect. So anyways, have an awesome rest of your day, you guys. I will see you all soon. And I don't know, it's summer right now, so have an awesome summer. If you're not listening to this in summer, I apologize for talking about summer if you're in the middle of a blizzard, but right now it is summertime and enjoy. All right, have a great day. Bye, guys.